All right, we are here. It is Super Bowl Monday. I am here with Alyssa Farah Griffin. Hello, Alyssa.
Hello, a very defeated new Patriots fan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to hide my smirk, but this was both predicted by me and enjoyed by me. So there we go.
It was a depressing game. Okay, on the bright side, I was literally thinking last night, I was like, if the Patriots win, Justin's going to make a real push to be like, our baby will be Drake May Griffin.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm kind of glad we don't have to do that.
That'd be amazing.
But
Drake Griffin.
It was such a bummer just because I feel like they had such a good season. And I don't follow sports.
By the way, Drake Griffin is the bully in every 80s movie.
That is.
Like,
that's not a nice kid.
No. I mean, he'll be good looking.
Yeah.
But he'll just be horrible to the protagonist of the movie.
No, but I got weirdly invested in football this season. So I'm like, I see why it's so sad when your team loses.
It can be rough. Yeah, it can be rough. My team's been losing for a couple of years, so I'm getting used to it. But
it was that last touchdown that like the Seahawks didn't even seem to realize was a touchdown. And Justin just looks at me. He's like, can we just go to bed?
Oh.
I was like, yeah, let's turn this off.
You know, we talked so much about the halftime show, which was really fantastic, but we didn't talk a lot about commercials today. Was there anything that stuck out to you?
Oh, mine was kind of basic, but the Anthropic one with like the chat bot that then they work in the ads. Brilliant. It was so good. It was too long to do on the show. Also liked multiple Backstreet Boys references.
A shocking
Very
amount.
Good.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Duncan one was great.
The Duncan one was my favorite because I'm a 90s guy.
Yeah.
So all of my favorite 90s stars showing up in de-aged AI, which looked a little weird, but
I know that I like couldn't tell at first. I was like, I feel like Jennifer Aniston looks younger, but she also always looks great.
She
so
looks
I can't
great.
Tell.
Yeah. No, but definitely Ted Danson was in full
that was the
1985.
part.
Yeah, that was good. But it was really fun. So I have to start, of course, with how are you feeling?
I am feeling ready to have a baby.
There was some concern that maybe it would happen today, I think.
Yeah. I'm definitely in that period where it's like it could happen at any time. We've got a plan. My in-laws get in. Well, they get in tomorrow. They might need to get here sooner to watch the dogs, but I'm ready. I think breaking news.
Tomorrow is your last show before having the baby.
Yeah, and this was my last weekend of my life not having children, which was such an interesting thought. And like, I thought I might have a little bit of like, oh, am I going to miss this? No, I'm just so excited.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Like, I can't wait to see him and smell him and just have him here.
It's going to be great. And I try to think about that. I really don't remember what it was like not to have kids anymore, but I definitely don't like long for that at all. So you're going to love it. But I am going to miss you on the show. So we have tomorrow's your last show, and then that'll be exciting. So many of the guests, many of the hosts have been giving you advice. Anything stick out?
So, but by the way, I loved that for my baby shower that we got all the hosts to give me mom advice. That meant so
really
much
great.
to me. It's all been really good. I think the most consistent thing I hear, both Sunny and Sarah have said it to me multiple times. Whoopi said it too. Is it goes by so quick. Like especially the early phases. Like they're a kid and then you blink your eye and they're 30 years old. So like enjoy and like cherish every little phase because they're like a different human every few months.
Yeah, it's so hard to be in the moment when those things happen. But because I kept getting excited for the next thing. You know,
and I'm like that, and I want to remind myself to be present. Even when I was like folding and organizing his little clothes, you're like newborn, 3 months. Oh my gosh, 6 months.
That stuff goes so fast. So as you mentioned, tomorrow is the last day on the show. Your maternity leave is starting, and then next week we're going to start having guest hosts on the show. I want to get your advice for them. So we've got a lot of different people. We have Savannah Chrisley. We have Elizabeth Hasselbeck and Abby Huntsman, who probably don't need advice. They've done this before. We have Amanda Carpenter, Cheryl Underwood, also someone who's been on a daytime show for a long time, and Whitney Cummings. Now, obviously, we can't wait for you to come back. We're very excited about that. But we're going to have these people and some other names we haven't even announced yet popping in. What advice do you have for people that maybe aren't used to being at our table?
So what all these women have in common, and I think will make the shows really good, is they all have a ton of TV experience. Because I think what people forget is they think of our show as this like political show, and it's all about like your political chops. That matters. You have to be able to do the serious hot topics. but you also have to be able to do the more fun and light stuff and the bantery, and like you don't know what kind of silly moments what might come up. And I think all of these women are going to be really ready for that with their different experiences. My advice is, and honestly, I'm pretty sure Abby said this to me before I started, so it's not advice to her, but to some who haven't been at the table. Authentically be yourself.
Yeah.
It's the view. Each of us brings our own view. It's not, you are not here as a Republican Party spokesperson. You're not here as a defender of the administration. You're not here as an opponent of the, you are there to say authentically what you believe when presented with like the issues of the day. And it took me time to learn, but it comes through more with the audience when they're like, I know they're saying what they genuinely believe rather than what they think they're supposed to.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think most of the people all the people that are coming on are people that have different opinions than many of the people that are on the table now.
Yeah.
Different than you in some cases. But I think like that's what makes this show great.
And enjoy the women at the table. Like the most important thing to me, and I appreciated how collaborative you were and you know, me bringing you suggestions of people to fill in, is like I respect and love my co-hosts, so I want people who are going to respect and love them and treat them like, you want to treat it like you're having coffee or a meal with your girlfriends who have different viewpoints than you. And so it's not like I've never, listen, our show's always going to have the flashy, shouty moments, but I think just honestly listening to other people's perspectives, sharing yours if you need to be forceful, but like just realizing like these are women with different experiences than you, and you can learn from them and they can learn from you.
I think all these people are people uniformly that believe that it's important to have conversations with people that don't agree with you, and that's one of the criteria we looked at for.
Yeah, it's a very good mix, and I like that they're all very different from each other.
Do you think you will be watching?
So I bet I'll watch it. I do think I will, but I think I'll watch it like at night on Hulu. I'm going to be like pumping or feeding at 11 p.m. and watching it, not 11 a.m. You're not going to get I don't think you're going to get a live text from me during the show. You'd be
the first host to not do that. So let's see what happens. All right, let's go back to the Super Bowl and talk about the Bad Bunny halftime show. What did you think of it?
Loved it.
Yeah.
And I went in, I've said this before, I didn't have strong feelings about Bad Bunny. I really only know one song of his. I've seen him in movies, like I like him. I know he like dated Kendall Jenner and he's hot, but like I really was not someone who came in either direction with strong feelings. I thought from a production or performance, a musical standpoint, it was amazing. Because a lot of artists, and it's not shade, they'll just be on a stage. I was like, he did everything you could do. I thought it was brilliant. I had rightly predicted it'd be the most viewed in Super Bowl history. And I loved that he made points, but he did it subtly. And I think in art, that's actually often more powerful.
Sure.
Sometimes when things are so in your face, like let's say he had an ice out sign, that would be really powerful to a lot of people. If you're someone who's like, and he had said that at the Grammys, but like if you're someone who's in the middle and they're like, I really support law enforcement, I don't like what ICE is doing, it may not sway your opinion, but just showing culture, heritage, love for America, love for the entire region, this warmth, this joy, I think that resonates across the board, and it's actually in some ways more powerful to show what you stand for in that way than in like a more provocative political statement. I thought it was brilliant, and there was a clip like afterward, like him and like Roger Goodell backstage, like the NFL knows that they chose a winner there. Like they were like, that was such a good choice.
Yeah, I keep seeing like tweets and stuff, and I shouldn't even look anymore. But people are like, well, wait till next year, and it's Morgan Wallen, and then we'll know we won, and things like that. I'm like, I don't think anyone's viewing this as a mistake.
Nope.
I don't think so. And I have friends that like, they're like, I don't know any Bad Bunny songs, and I get it, but I'm like, guys, we're just old. I mean, that's what it is.
Part. So my mom had the most like earnest take, which was, we were talking about it before, and she's like, well, to be honest, like, I didn't really know any Kendrick Lamar songs. She's like, I kind of remembered some of the, like, 50th anniversary of hip-hop because we all listened to it, like, growing up.
That I knew everything.
Yeah, that was, like, we knew that. She's like, I kind of like tuning in to know what everyone likes that I'm not aware of. And I'm like, that's how it should be. Like, we're not necessarily, like, the cool target demo anymore.
No, you're closer than me, but
I'm closer. I thought it was brilliant. And I think that a lot of the like culture war stuff is overhyped by like social media.
It is.
Because I could have predicted it would be about 135 million to about 5 million. And like, Godspeed, they have every right to do their counter programming, but like to compete against Bad Bunny, the like multi-time most streamed artist on Spotify, you would need like Taylor Swift, Paul McCartney, like Lenny Kravitz. You need a bunch of people. Like
Right.
you would need like some of the biggest performers of all time. And that's what people didn't realize. I'm like, even if it's political and ideological for you, that's a minority of the country.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if I went into our offices and I said, "Hey, Paul McCartney's doing the Super Bowl," I don't think people would be excited.
I know. As soon as I said that, I was like, I'm too
No,
old.
I'd be thrilled. I'd be very excited. And he did do the Super Bowl. I was there when it happened. It was great. But
Lady Gaga showing up was amazing.
Lady Gaga showing up was
I
great.
squealed when she popped on the
yes.
screen.
Is there one Super Bowl you remember as like your favorite?
Honestly, I think it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
That
Just
was
because it
great.
was so much of like our generation. It was so many artists.
Yeah.
That was so fun. And then like Britney, Aerosmith.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Well, you were like
iconic.
9 when that happened.
Yeah, but I loved her. So
No, so there you go. I mean, it's interesting. Did you end up watching any of the Turning Point after the fact?
well, so God's honest truth, because we were watching at my neighbor's house, was super fun. And I don't think anyone in the room other than my husband like knew really any Bad Bunny songs. I knew, like I mentioned, the one, but we all enjoyed it. I ended up going home afterward, just super pregnant. My husband stayed over, and I was like looking on Twitter to find it. I couldn't find it because I guess there was a licensing issue.
It wasn't
they
able
couldn't
to be
air
shown
it, and
on
I wasn't
Twitter.
going to turn my TV away from the Super Bowl
No.
to find Kid Rock.
I watched it
singing,
this
like,
morning. You
Ba
know,
wada ba. Like,
speak English, Kid Rock.
I did have that joke. I didn't get to make it on the live show, but I was gonna be like, "This is not English."
I mean, yeah, no, it's he's not at the height of his powers right now. I'm not gonna lie. There was a time in my life where I enjoyed a Kid Rock song.
Well, okay, here was my thing, which this was too deep to go into in the live show. But I saw some like Christian right folks, people like Franklin Graham, who I disagree with him on a lot, but he runs one of the best charity organizations in the country, in the world, with Samaritan's Purse. But we've argued on things from gay marriage to everything. And he tweets out, like, I'm going to be watching the Turning Point show and Kid Rock because it's like a better reflection of Christian values. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? People were quoting Kid Rock's lyrics back to him. People of faith, by the way. And I'm like, don't get pulled into that. Like, don't let people tell you, like, let's be clear. The objection to Bad Bunny was because it's in Spanish. It was not because it wasn't Christian or it wasn't American.
No,
like
it was filled with love and happiness, and it was great.
And honestly, I loved community, local business. Like, I saw a lot of conservative values there, to be honest with you. Like, if I went back and analyzed it, I could point out things that are like, this is what America stands for. I also think Arthur Brooks, sorry, I'm going deep on this.
No.
Arthur Brooks has a great piece on this today where he's like, actually, Bad Bunny is the best representation of America. It's exporting culture, showing that the biggest Spanish language artist is an American citizen, by the way. Like, we should want that. We should want that contribution. We should want the money that it brings into the country. Like, it's just an unfamiliar way to look at things for me.
And he wasn't wearing jorts.
No, he was, I know, and lip singing.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. All right. So the other topic we talked about today was the biggest story of the weekend, and just horrible. This video shared on the president's social media platform depicting former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle with the bodies of apes. What did you think of this when you first saw it? And were you even surprised at this point?
I wasn't surprised, though. There's that small part of you that wants to be like, it's AI. He didn't retruth this. Like, this is fake or something. And it's like, no, it's real, and it's horrible. And it's just like, it feels like, you say it's beneath us as a country, but it's like, but is it? Because this kind of stuff keeps happening, keeps being done proactively by certain individuals. I think I was struck by a number of things. That the Obamas don't even weigh in on this. There's something about silent grace and being like, everyone knows what they saw. You don't, like, you're either lying to yourself about it, or you're having the wherewithal to be like, yes, this is wrong, this is racist, this is disgusting. Like, that's it. There's no other interpretation here. And seeing people who support the president spending the day trying to, like, bend themselves into pretzels explaining it, only for him to then double down on it, like, don't do it. You don't need to. I don't know. I kept thinking of the moment of, like, Obama in the Oval Office with the little boy who touches his head, and, like, what that meant to Black children and what that meant to the community. And then now, 15 years later, I don't know how long we are, 10 years later, you're seeing this. But I do genuinely believe that, like, our politics is cyclical. I believe that things change, and I think that the goodness that exists in this country can come back. Outside of politics, just I think that there's a decency that can come back, and I think people are really over how ugly it's gotten. I hope I'm right. I might just be being optimistic.
I believe it too, and I think the fact that, I know you were underwhelmed with the amount of Republicans that came out and spoke against this, but maybe the bar's so low. I was like, oh wow, Tim Scott. I was like, okay, that's.
I know, and he's like, I hope it's fake. I was like, it isn't though.
Yeah. But he called it racist. He said what it was. I mean, yeah.
It did feel like the most significant backlash to something in this term.
Yeah. Again, the bar is low.
The bar is low, but I think it's indefensible.
I can tell you're getting emotional about this, but it kind of leads to the next question. So, with the Olympics going on, there's some Olympic athletes that have said they feel conflicted about representing the country on the world stage because of what's happening here right now. They've gotten a lot of one in particular has gotten a lot of backlash from the president. What do you think of this? And as somebody who is very patriotic, how do you feel about it?
I know. I was hoping there was so much to cover today. I wanted to talk about this. Well, first and foremost, one of the most American things that we should prize and be grateful for is our ability to have free speech and to express our political viewpoints. So anyone who's suggesting that these athletes don't have a right to is ridiculous. I feel very strongly that you can be so proud to be American, you can be a patriot, and you can also call balls and strikes about what's wrong with your country.
Yeah.
Patriotism does not mean blind loyalty to anything that the federal government does or your government does. I'd say that's actually anti-patriotic when you're defending things that the government does that are out of step with the values that the nation was founded on. And I think that, listen, on the world stage, how America's represented matters, but I think that we're in a moment where you've had the president on the world stage not represent us well. How are you going to come for Olympic athletes who are asked a question, give their authentic opinion, something that they have every right to, and that's somehow more offensive than when the president's been critical of our own government, of our own, fellow Americans on the world stage. It's just, it's disappointing, but
you see J.D. Vance getting booed at the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, it's not a moment that people our allies feel like we've left them behind. They feel like we're uncertain. They feel like we're fickle friends, like we're not real, true friends the way that we have been in the past. And I find that, like, I'm sorry, I care a lot more about how our European allies who came to our aid after 9/11 view us than the words of an Olympic athlete who has every right to speak out.
And given this is the second time this has happened now in 10 years, it's harder to dismiss it. And it's hard to feel like even if there's someone next time that goes back to the norms, will that be trusted? Because it's just an election away. It's hard.
It runs very deep. I don't know what healing like this moment and moving on from it looks like, but I do think that there's this, I think that people falsely conflate patriotism with just like blindly rooting for anything the American government does if it's your guy in charge. That's the other thing, because it's you see a lot of the same people deeply critical when someone else is in leadership. And I think at the end of the day, it should always come back to the values that we're meant to reflect as a country. Standing by our friends, showing up for them, basically everything laid out in the Constitution, freedom of religion, speech, freedom of the press. When we're standing by those things, you don't have to be embarrassed on the world stage. You don't have to equivocate. And listen, I mention all this by also saying there are far more repressive, difficult, horrible countries on earth. I still think we're the greatest nation on earth. But I think that you stay the greatest nation on earth or you improve by calling balls and strikes, not pretending that you're perfect.
Yeah. All right, let's get one more topic in, one more Bravo topic before you leave us.
Very important.
This will be the last Bravo topic I do for 2 months plus.
Yes.
All right, the new season of Summer House is on, and the big storyline is about Amanda and Kyle, who have announced they are separating. Sorry, Amanda and Kyle. I've been told that they broke up because Kyle, who is in his 40s, is now a DJ and goes out every night. Tell me more about this.
Well, everyone saw this coming, and I never want to root against a marriage.
No.
But like, I don't get how these people in their 40s like send it as hard as they do. Like my ability to, I'm pregnant. I barely drink at all anymore when I'm not pregnant. Like sleep is important. Being like healthy is important. And this was a classic. Amanda basically got married and laid out very clear expectations. Like he already owns an alcohol brand. That's fine. Now he wants to DJ. And she's like, I just want a partner who's going to be an adult and be in like the phase of life we're in together.
Sure.
I think it's good for her that she's getting out of it now. But I think like in general, you just have to be super blunt with your partner. Like, there is no world in, like, where Justin would come home and be like, well, I'm going to go DJ till 3 a.m. Like, that just would never exist.
Right.
Like, I
and
would
if it did, you would have strong feelings.
We would have such strong feelings. He would be physically barricaded into my house. Like, that's just never going to happen. You have to be on the same page. It just can't work if your lifestyles are that different.
Who is more blunt, you or Justin, about things that are upsetting to them?
Justin usually, but pregnant, I'm very blunt. And
Yes.
I think you're very empowered to be blunt when pregnant.
I believe that you now have the power to be blunt forever. Once you're the mom, I think it's
so
there.
too.
Yeah, it's
I'm seeing the dynamic shift.
it's
and
a
I
big
love it.
shift. Yeah, it's a big shift. Let me tell you, 14 years in, it's a big
Yeah.
shift. All right, and then a lot of these reality shows are like kind of centering on going out and drinking. It's not just unique to this. But you think that trend is changing now. Tell me about why.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've noticed this, but I definitely think with millennials, like, we were kind of the end of the partying generation. Like, our 20s, we would go out late, we would drink, we'd somehow make it into work. I would drink sometimes 5 to 7 days a week. Like, you literally would do happy hour after work,
Right.
then weekends you'd go out. And now nearly all my friends, you go to, a Super Bowl party, half of them are sober or like sober curious and barely drinking. And I think a lot is learning more about like health, longevity, our mental health. But I think that I think there's a little bit of a toxic drinking culture that we as like a country haven't really talked about. I think Gen Z gets it. They're drinking less. But this idea that like we solve all our problems by being like, all right, I'm going to down, 4 martinis. That's not good. That's not healthy. And I've been like really pleasantly surprised by like across the board, people of my generation are like looking to be healthier and to just be drinking alcohol less.
There's definitely something about, I mean, I have friends that still drink very hard. I've never been that guy.
Yeah.
And I still get like the text on Saturday morning, like, oh, I
I
can't get
know.
up.
How do you do
that? And I'm going to be 50 this year. Like, I can't imagine that. I'm sober and unconscious at 10 o'clock every night. Because,
Correct.
I'm an old man now. My kids are like, Dad, like we never see you. You're going to sleep. I'm like, I can't do it. I gotta
press you stamp till 10.
I mean, it's a chore, but this is what you have to look forward to.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm so excited for you.
Thank
really,
you.
Sincerely, it's going to be great. I can't wait to get lots of updates.
Yes.
And you're going to be missed. But we will see you tomorrow.
You're going to have fun shows, though.
We will.
Yes.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, Joy Behar returns to the podcast. We've missed her too. And we'll see you then.